Hello everyone, my name is Chano Kim, the Director of Port Investment Operation Department of Korea Maritime Institute. It is my pleasure to have a chance to meet you through the video lecture. As Korea is surrounded by the sea on three sides and has an export-oriented industrial structure, we have realized the importance of maritime logistics to Korea's economic development and have developed ports led by the government. Based on the manufacturing industry and the port developments supporting it, Korea was able to achieve economic development called it the miracle on the Han River. In this lecture, I talk about the port status of Korea, point to the current task and the cases of Korea's post-development policy. First, let's look into the status of Korea ports. There are 60 ports in Korea, of which 31 are trade ports and 29 are coastal ports. Among them, there are 25 national and 35 local ports. These ports are managed and operated by the regional offices of oceans and fisheries, the port authorities, such as the state, local, and governments, and the local governments. The 30 trading ports are distributed in 7 provinces in Korea, such as the metropolitan area, Chungcheong, Honam, Dongnam, Daejeong, Gangwon, and Jeju. And each region has different characteristics. For example, ports in metropolitan area support trade with China and economy of metropolitan area. In case of Chungcheong, energy ports are located including oil, gas, coal, and so on. Ports in Honam support the Saemangeum project. Gwangyang Container Hub Ports is in this region. There are ports in Daejeong that support the steel industry, and Gangwon-do, which is geographically close to Russia, supports trade with Russia and has tourist ports such as Marina Cruise. Finally, in Jeju Islands, there are tourist ports including Marina Cruise. As of 2019, the total cargo volume of ports that handles the Korean port, national trade ports totals 1,656 billion tons, up to 0.8% from the previous year. Of the total volume, import and export cargo is about 1.4 billion tons. Coastal cargo is about 200 billion tons, of which about 5.7 billion tons is container cargo, and non-container cargo are made up of 1.07 billion tons. From 2001 to 2019, it is showing an average annual growth rate of 3.5%. The volume of container cargo volume is 29.2 million TEUs, with an average annual growth rate of 6.1% from 2001 to 2019. Among the ports in Korea, Busan, Gwangyang, and Incheon ports are positioned as the 3 major ports. And the container traffic volume handled by these 3 ports amount to 94% of the total container volume. In particular, Busan has become the number 1 trading port with 75% of the total container volume handles, Incheon with 11% and Gwangyang with 8%. The total transshipment container volume is 12.3 million TEUs in 2019, accounting for 42.1% of the total container cargo volume. and showing an annual average growth rate of 7.9% from 2001 to 2019. On the other hand, in terms of transshipment container volume, Korea is the second largest container transshipment port in the world after Singapore. Let's find out about Busan Port. Busan Port has traditionally played a role as the nation's largest trading port, and the government has promoted a new port development project to solve the problems of lack of facilities and port hindrance due to the continuous growth of cargo volume. With the opening of the new port in 2007, the gradual implementation of the Busan New Port construction project resolved the shortage of port facilities. At the same time, by securing a logistic site that supports the port behind the new port, Busan is equipped with the infrastructure to support various logistic activities that occur through the port hinterlands, as well as the simple processing of import and export volume. Busan Port has a total of 41 berths, including the new port, and handles 94.5 million TEUs per year as a capacity of the port. North Port has 20 container berths and 5 general terminals, and the new port has 21 berths with 6,850 meters as a berth length. The container terminal at the North Port include Jaseongdae, Shinganman, Ganman, and Shinseondae, and Wuam was converted to a general port in April 2015. These pictures shows the status of the Busan Port. Jaseongdae is the first container terminal in Korea and is operated by Korea Hutchison Terminal. Wuam Terminal is planning to use the port facilities that were designated as a marine industry cluster and used only as logistic facilities for production activities such as research, manufacturing, and distribution by marine industry-related companies. The Marine Business R&D Center, Hydrogen Ship R&D Center, and Knowledge Industry Center are scheduled to be built here. The Busan New Port is 25 kilometers away from the North Port, and the government aims to develop 45 berths by 2030. According to the new port development plan to treat 30 million TEUs per year. The volume of container cargo in Busan Port is increasing every year. As of 2019, about 22 million TEUs was processed. Busan Port boasts the world's second largest transshipment cargo after Singapore, and is a global port with the world's sixth largest container volume throughput. Gwangyang Port has been developed to distribute Korea's export drive policy, which is concentrated on Gyeongbu axis and to use it as an alternative port in case of emergency. Gwangyang Port is located on the interstate routes linking Asia, North America, and Europe, so it is being developed to serve as a mega hub port based in Northeast Asia. Gwangyang Port is being fostered as the nation's largest industrial cluster port, which has an excellent political position centered on industrial ports driving national economic growth. Gwangyang Port currently have 25 container berths. Existing 16 ports handling capacity is 6 million TEUs per year. As of 2019, Gwangyang Port has handled 2.3 million TEUs. Using part of the container terminal as the international car transshipment center for smooth handling of the soaring cargo of Gwangyang Port. This is Incheon Port. Incheon Port has played a pivotal role in the national economic development since its opening in 1883. A lock gate was built to overcome the tidal difference and accommodate large ships. Incheon Port consists of port facilities such as the Inner Port, South Port, and North Port, as well as coastal and international passenger piers and ports hinterland. It has total 125 berths and the total berth length 28,379 meters. The new port, established in 2015, is capable of docking even super large container ships, and is taking off as a leading port through the introduction of automated loading and unloading equipment. Incheon Port plays a major role in handling import and export cargo in China and the southern region, including India as the central port of the metropolitan areas. This is Ulsan Port since its designation as a modern trading port. In 1963, Ulsan Port has continued to develop as an industrial support port that supports the automobile, shipbuilding, and petrochemical industries located in the National Industrial Complex behind it. As a port supporting industrial complex, its main cargoes are mineral oils, petroleum, chemicals, coal, heavy machinery, automobile, and liquid chemicals. Ulsan New Port, which has been developed in earnest since 2000s, handles about 200 million tons of supplies annually. It aims to establish the Northeast Asia oil hub in two stages, from 2010 to 2030, which is to build 100,000 to 200,000 tons across 8 berths and tank with a capacity of 24.13 million barrels of oil. The port hinterland was introduced to serve as a complex logistic hub for assembling and processing cargo from simple loading and unloading facilities, and it begins to be developed and operated in Korea in the early 2000s. The purpose of the hinterland is to create a new type of cargo through the provision of high value-added logistics services such as packing and labeling, and beyond the role of temporary storage warehouse for exports and transshipment cargoes. The Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries of Korea established a master plan for developing port hinterlands every 5 years in accordance with the Port Act, designating and developing the hinterland complex. Currently, 8 ports such as Incheon, Pyeongtaek, Mokpo, Gwangyang, Masan, Pohang, Ulsan, and Busan are designated as the target ports for the hinterland complex. The Korean government has designated a hinterland complex with total areas of 29.6 million thousand square meters in 8 ports nationwide by 2030 in accordance with the third master plan for port hinterland development. If the complex is fully developed under the plan, about 90,000 new jobs are expected to be created through the construction of manufacturing and logistics facilities and the hiring of human resources by tenant companies, and it will be created through the production inducements, the effects of about $10 billion. Meanwhile, as of 2019, 186 domestic and foreign logistics companies and manufacturing companies have moved into the port hinterland across the country to perform value-added logistic activities. This is the plan for the development of the hinterlands in Busan New Port. The development of a new Busan Port complex will be carried out in 4 areas, such as north, south, west, and Undong, and it's expected to be completed by 2030. Land use plans are established in the hinterlands complex, including lands for complex logistics and manufacturing facilities, business and convenience facilities, public facilities, educational research facilities, and international conference halls. The complex behind the Gwangyang Port is designated as a free trade zone and is the best place to apply the logistics and manufacturing business model that adds add value and the export cargo flows in from abroad. It is being promoted in order to create a comprehensive logistics base with the functions such as the distribution, processing, packaging, information, trade, and execution of cargo in response to the trends of a comprehensive logistics center of ports. It will also be developed as an international logistics hub by designating it as a free trade zone to encourage domestic and foreign logistics and manufacturers to participate. Currently, about 40 logistics and manufacturing companies, including foreign investors, the companies from Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States are operating in it. This time, let's look at the change in the global port market. The characteristics of the global port market change can be largely divided into 2 categories: decreasing customers caused by the alliance system of largest shipping companies and intensifying competition between ports to attract large alliance customers. Major shipping companies around the world share shipping routes and ships, maximizing their efficiency of ship operation through the formation of a maritime alliance which operates as a single company. In other words, shipping companies are realizing hub and spoke strategies through ship sharing and ship exchanging through alliance, thereby increasing the efficiency of ship operation and preventing excessive competition between shipping companies. These alliances have been simplified from 6 in 2011 to 4 in 2015, and new 3 alliances, including 2M, Ocean, and the alliance, while the alliance itself it become huge. This, in other words, is the strengthening of the shipping companies' bargaining power over port operators. The strengthening of the shipping companies' alliance is leading to increase the competition between ports. With the decrease import calling vessels, increase the productivity and efficiency, and intensifying price competition have led ports to compete in various areas to attract customers. Furthermore, unlike the rapid changes in shipping lanes, the changes in the ports are slow to respond to the needs of the shipping lines. The shipping companies maximize the efficiency of its operation through the rapid enlargement of ships, while the port usually takes 10 years, 2 years, suitable ports for large vessels. So the port does not reflect the shipping company's needs in a timely manner. Therefore, competition between ports for tiny supply of large size of ports is intensifying due to the expansion of ships. However, the construction of large ports suitable for large ships is often brings large investment cost. In particular, deep ports, modernized large equipment and automation systems are required, and it increases construction costs and operating costs to operate them are also increasing. In addition, environmental management of ports is also leading the changes in the global port market. With the global climate change and emergence of ports as a major cause of air pollution, such as fine dust in recent years, eco-friendliness in the port industry is positioning one axis for sustainable development of ports. In particular, as the international community's demand for reduction of greenhouse gas emission is intensifying due to climate changes, the International Maritime Organization's environmental regulations began in 2020, and ports as the main culprit of air pollution emissions can no longer avoid environmental issues. Therefore, it is necessary to monitor air pollution discharges from the ports and to minimize the air pollution, noise, and vibration damages such as switching to bio and eco-friendly fuel for all cargo handling equipment, including queue equipment, transport equipment, and yard equipment used in the ports. We must first change to an eco-friendly port. Accordingly, the Korean government is making efforts to reduce expense and gas emissions by investing in eco-friendly infrastructure, such as installing facilities in eco-friendly infrastructure, such as converting and installing power sources for cranes and yards in major Korean ports from oil to LNG. As the role of ports, such as increased throughput and traffic expanded, the conflicts began to arise with the city or city regions where the ports are located. Not only environmental and transportation problems emerged due to port developments, and citizens' access to the ports was blocked, and urban residents' thoughts about the ports began to change. This transformation of people's thoughts on the ports has served as an important opportunity to seek a co-prosperity way between ports and cities in terms of future national competitiveness and improvement of people's quality of life. Therefore, Korea's port authorities and governments are trying to develop a new types of city-friendly ports. This includes the development of cruise terminals, leisure time marina facilities, and eco-friendly energy supply facilities. In this chapter, we'll learn about Korea's port policy. First is the Port Master Plan. Korean government is responding to changes in the global port market by establishing a basic port plan every 10 years and revising the plan every 5 years. The basic port plan is a port-related national plan established by the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries in accordance with the Port Act. It is the standard for Korean ports development and operation, increasing mid to long-term development directions and development plans for 33 ports and 29 coastal ports nationwide. In 1992, Korea has been developing ports systematically by considering long-term volume forecast, reflecting domestic and international conditions and calculating the appropriate capacity of each port, breaking away from the methods of developing ports as needed. Following the first Port Master Plan between 1992 to 2001 and the second Port Master Plan and the third National Port Master Plan was established in 2011, and is now the first master plan is under preparing. Currently, ports are being developed in consideration of port-specific characteristics of each port to enhance the international competitiveness and logistics functions of ports according to the third National Port Amendment Master Plan established in 2016. The Korean government plans to develop Busan Port as one of the world's two largest container transshipment hubs, Gwangyang Port as the nation's largest industrial cluster port, Incheon Port as the metropolitan area's comprehensive logistics gateway, and Ulsan Port as the Northeast Asia's liquid logistics hub. In particular, Busan Port plans to complete the second phase of the new port project by 2020 and carry out the third phase of the project in earnest to expand the container terminal to 37 berths compared to currently 21 berths. We plan to develop a mega terminal by reorganizing the physical environment, including water depth, dredging, loose extension, so that the super-sized vessels can safely enter and depart. Also, we are promoting the development of the ITT exchange system to automate the transfer of transshipment cargo between terminals. In addition, port developments will be carried out to support key national industries such as petrochemical, steel, automobile, and offshore plants industries, and general terminals and hinterland transportation networks will be expanded to support regional-based industrial activities such as cement and sand. Moreover, we will develop LNG import ports and cogeneration plants in line with the energy conversion era. We will increase the added value of ports through various uses of port spaces. First of all, by expanding the functions of the port complex, domestic logistics will attract R&D facilities that can increase the added value of global logistics activities and strengthen commercial functions through the construction of a port hinterland complex by private capital. In addition, the government plans to promote the post and hinterland complex by introducing urban functions such as commerce, housing, and culture within the post hinterland to create a settlement environment for port workers. We plan to develop an industrial cluster linking the post hinterland complex with the industrial complex by utilizing either post facilities. Also, we will continue to develop LNG bunkering, cruise terminal, marina, and related facilities in response to the environmental changes in the new global port market. In particular, we are planning to continue the city-friendly ports for co-prosperity with the port and the city. Korea's port authorities and governments established the first marine port master plan in 2010 to reflect the changes in cultural conditions for maritime leisure sports, including an increase in the number of people engaged in marine tourism activities and a sharp increase in the number of people registered and licensed and developing 44 marina facilities according to the plan. It plans to build the cruise terminals at 9 ports across the countries, such as 16 ports, including Jeju Port, Busan Port, Incheon Port, and Sokcho Port. In order to promote the island's tourism, it will refurbish poor and aging passenger ports and terminals and separate small ship docks to strengthen the distribution functions of fisheries products. In connection with the development of urban-friendly ports, port redevelopment is also actively taking place. The Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries is currently working on the project by establishing a master plan for port redevelopment in 13 ports and 19 target sites. Through this, we intend to transform oil and other ports into eco-friendly, high-value-added ports linked to the city behind them, and provides them as leisure spaces for citizens and to use them as a growth engagers for revitalizing the local economy. A representative example of this is the redevelopment project of the Busan North Port. Redevelopment has been discussed due to the need to relocate the functions of the old ports in the North Port due to the declining competitiveness of the North Port. And the main content is to reorganize the current logistics-oriented port functions into a port centers on citizens, commerce, and culture. Through this redevelopment project, the government is aiming for economic ripple effects by developing Busan Port as a base for international marine tourism and creating an eco-friendly waterfront while improving the quality of life for citizens and securing a base for international marine tourism through a complex water-friendly spaces. Busan Port development project began in 2008 and will complete the construction of infrastructure such as roads and public facilities by 2022. Phase 2 involves the relocating port functions to new ports and redeveloping terminal that becomes idle facilities. It also includes the project to relocate training station and regenerate sites nearby. Meanwhile, Korea Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries is promoting various global cooperation activities to contribute to global development by sharing Korea's experience in port development with the world. This includes the knowledge sharing program, which shares the experience in economic development through the development of ports, strengthening ODA project to deepen cooperation with the partner countries such as ASEAN, Africa, and South America, and fostering global logistics companies to expand global logistic networks. On the other hand, the Green Port policy is also being implemented to promote the sustainable port operation. This includes the introduction of a system to monitor air pollution, noise, and so on, the installation of AMP that supplies the power to ships, the establishment of eco-friendly energy self-reliance ports using wind and solar power, and the introduction of new and renewable energy at ports. Moreover, we are planning to build a safe green port for climate change by reinforcing the breakwater and building the disaster prevention facilities and strengthening the earthquake resistance facilities in preparation for rising sea level and digging increase due to climate changes. It is the last page of my presentation. You looked at the status of Korea in Chapter 1, and you saw the changes there, the post market in Chapter 2. In the last chapter, I think we can see how Korea is developing ports and preparing for the future through its policy. Port plays an important role in the development of the national economy as a logistic node, linking marine logistics with land logistics, a gateway to international trade and a hub for freight distribution. Ports have played a very important role in Korea's economic development, and 4 of Korea's top 10 cities like Busan, Incheon, Ulsan, and Changwon have been developed based on ports. I don't think it's much different in your country. We have for sure the growth through continuous exchanges in the future. Thank you for being with us so far.